Shalom. I'm starting by giving all the praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Arachakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone who are worthy, who rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect house of David scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And I wanted to do a quick video in response to this segment from the Tucker Carlson show. And this was aired a couple of days ago. And this is where he talks about the new CBDC, or central bank digital currency system, that's being rolled out by the government. And just over a week ago, it was reported that the banks were partnering up. They were getting ready to do a collab with the New York Fed for a 12-week digital dollar pilot program. All right, and all different these different banks, they all are going digital. And we know that China, being the center of the New World Order standard, they want to model the technology and the order in China. They want that to be spread around the world, and different nations are hopping on the train, so to speak. They all are boarding that train, joining aboard. So it's all being rolled out. Okay, and you can't say that we're not constantly giving warning about this. Now it's happening right in your face. Okay, the Lord is now doing what he said what he would do. Matter of fact, let me get that in Isaiah. Get Isaiah 46 and 9 and 10. And it says, "Remember the former things of old, for I am the most high power, and there is none else. I am the most high power, and there is none else like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure." All right, let's get the one in Isaiah 55 and 10. This is why the scriptures say to, seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. For no one of these shall fail, and none shall wound her mate. All right, these prophecies are true. All right, and we have that day star shining in our hearts, so we have the sure word of prophecy. So this is why we touch on these things. All right, this is Isaiah 55 and 10. It says, "For as the rain cometh down and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater, so shall my word be that go forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it." All right. So we know we're in the end where there's a few more prophecies left to be fulfilled. And this is one of the major ones. All right. The digital slave control system that's being rolled out before you. That's what the MOTB is going to be based off of. A system of control by, marking you with a digital identifier. This to see who he's controlling, who he's ruling over, oversight of his slaves, his cattle. That's what that digital oil is all about. All right, the oversight, the authority, the control, the dominance. So anyway, I'm gonna play this segment, and then we'll get some precepts.
Looks like fraud, But in the wake of that, rather than thinking through, like, why did regulators let this happen, there's a new effort underway to regulate every single financial transaction that occurs in this country through something called the Central Bank Digital Currency, CBDC. If that happens, we're done. They can control you with a flick of a switch.
And he said the key word, control. That's exactly what this technology and this whole system is geared for. It's for totalitarian control, or authority, oversight. All right. And that's what was prophesied that the beast would have over the people. It would be given power. It would exercise that power. This is Revelation 13 and starting at verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Which, there's various breakdowns going into this understanding. This is talking about, this country, America, and how it's, it has a two-party structure, just like ancient Rome, which, they had the Roman Republic, and then it became the Roman Empire. And it consisted of, two parties, the patricians and the plebeians. All right. And today you have the Republicans and you have the Democrats. So it's a two-party system. All right, two-party beast that has authority. Okay, and it says, and he spake as a dragon. All right, which we always break it down. The word Draco, going back to Dracon. All right, the word draconian. Which is when you look it up, you go to Draco, and he was an Athenian. Uh, he was an Athenian legislator. Let me There we go. I ain't talking about no damn gun, machine gun. That's Jake's lingo. No, Draco the lawgiver. All right. Draco, also called Draco or Dracon, was the first recorded legislator of Athens in ancient Greece. Okay. It says over here, he replaced the prevailing system of oral law and blood feud by the draconian constitution, a written code to be enforced only by a court of law. And the scriptures tell you that, was that Psalms 94th chapter in the 20th verse, that show the works of iniquity, have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law. And that's what they do. And they know that power is in, the writing of law, legislation, because that's how you have control. All right. You set legislation or laws in place. And when people are, subjected to those laws, you have authority over those people. All right. And he was known to give out, very harsh laws, legal codes. All right. With strict, punishments. And that's how we know, when it comes down to this new system that he's going to impose on everyone to come up under, there's going to be harsh restrictions, because if you don't have it, they're going to, bar you or disconnect you from all services. Meaning you're gonna need this particular device, because this is going to be the new currency. If you don't have it, you can't conduct business. There will be no way for you to uh, conduct uh, financial transactions. All right, so no more going to restaurants. All right, which there are certain restaurants now where they don't even take cash. You gotta insert your pay card, your debit card or credit card. All right, or you have to you can use an application on your phone where they'll scan the barcode on your phone, so on and so forth. All that technology is now replacing, fiat currency. All right. Certain stores now, smart stores, where you just go in, all right, and it scans your device. You just go in and you take whatever items you're gonna take, and then it deducts money out of your account immediately, and then you could just walk out with your items. So the conditioning is already there, and the system is already set up. All right. So going back, it says, and he exercised of all the power of the first beast before him, and caused of the earth and them which dwelled therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. All right, when you look up that word power, because it says in the exercise of all the power, and the word is exousia. All right, exousia, and it says power of choice, liberty of doing as one pleases, leave or permission. So they have the power to grant you permission, but you got to go through them first. You have your digital identification. Before you can leave the country, do you have this digital, you know, device or ID or passport or whatever they're going to come with? Ultimately, the CHIP. It says physical and mental power, the ability or strength which one is endued, which he either possesses or exercises. The power of authority, influence, and of right privilege. So this is what would be given to the beast. All right. And that's basically control. The power of authority or influence, that's control. All right, let's look up the word control. And it says the power to influence, just as it says in the definition. The power of authority, influence. All right. Or direct people's behavior or the course of events. All right. And it says jurisdiction, sway, power, authority, command, dominance. All right. Domination, government, which the word govern, it means to basically lead, um to steer the helm of, like a ship, basically to control. Like when you steering the helm of a ship, you're basically guiding that ship, so you're in control of the ship. But that's what it means to govern. And the word "ment," it means mind. So that's why it says in the definition, um physical and mental power. All right, and that's, when the scriptures talk about in the book of Second Thessalonians, that the devil, all right, the man of sin, the man of lawlessness, he would come, um he would come, what's that, damn, Second Thessalonians 2:9. Even he who's coming is after the working of Satan with all power, signs, and lying wonders. All right, and from those lying wonders and with the power that he had, the miracles, people will be deceived into believing him and worshiping and wandering after the beast. And that's when they would be given strong delusion, what works upon the mind. He has the power to control your mind, and that's through, his mind programming, through mainstream media. All right, his control of narratives. All right, social media, what they allow to be on their platforms, and what isn't. Their control of information, saying, what's true information and what's misinformation. And they have the technology to sway you, make you believe something is real when it in fact wasn't. Okay, so this man has a lot of left hand power right now, and that's what he's using to control the masses of the people. All right, but the only people who are not affected by that are the elect, because they're not gonna they're not gonna come up under the power of this beast. All right, Yahweh Shem Shai is their power. That's who they serve. They don't serve the beast, and that's why they're gonna be persecuted. All right, because they're gonna deny. All right, they're gonna denounce the this devil's authority. All right. So anyway, I'll read this definition too. It says the power of rule or government, the power of him whose will and commands must be submitted to by others and obeyed. All right. And that's, you got to obey his laws. He framed mischief by law. Okay. Unrighteous decrees, that they, write grievousness which they prescribe. All right. And these laws are always set in place before they um, pass them. They just got to use, psychological operations, false flags, so on and so forth. And then they bring in the legislation. All right. They just need order. All right. But they need chaos first. Order out of chaos. That's their motto. That's the Hegelian dialectic method. So, what he's getting ready to go into is part of the Hegelian dialectic, because there was a program dealing with, CBDC that was fraudulent, and they had to shut it down. But now it's giving them an excuse to give them a more um, um, basically a more controlled and more the term escaped me right now, but basically it's going to be more improved, based on their testings. All right, a more improved system of CBDC. So let's continue.
So you should know what they're planning and how we might be able to stop it. That's all straight ahead. The cryptocurrency exchange FTX blew up a couple weeks ago. It looks like one of the biggest, maybe the single biggest financial scam in history. And you have to wonder, how was this allowed? So the head of the company was all over the media, and in a number of interviews, he was wearing shorts and playing video games. Why did nobody notice? And where were the regulators? Where was Gary Gensler? Well, they were apparently giving this guy a pass because they knew him or they agreed with his politics. So they're not being punished for what they allowed to happen. Thousands of people defrauded out of their life savings. Instead, they're using the collapse of FTX to their own advantage to push for something called central bank digital currency, CBDC. Now, what is central bank digital currency? Well, that's where all financial transactions are effectively controlled by the central bank, really by the government. And as we saw in Canada last winter, if they don't like what you're doing, they can zero out your savings with a keystroke. So you have no autonomy whatsoever. You are completely under the control of the people in charge, who, by the way, may hate you. So this appears to be coming in this country. Several banks have announced already that they're working with the Fed to implement a CBDC. Once again, if this happens, we're done. No more political debate. We will have unprecedented levels of regulation, of surveillance, and of control. It's effectively Chinese social credit scores come to America. Russell Brand.
Yep. And go watch that episode Nosedive from that TV series or Netflix series Black Mirror. Yeah, they broke it down like perfectly. That's exactly, when you watch that episode, that's exactly what they had planned out. All right. It gives you the whole idea of how it's ran and how it's going to go. And China is under that system right now. All right.
Brand recently explained all of this in a clip of the new Prime Minister of the UK, Rishi Sunak, boosting a CBDC for England. Watch this. Answer to those questions? Oh, yeah. Vivek Ramaswamy is one of the smartest people we ever talked to, author of Nation of Victims, joins us tonight to assess. So, Vic, thanks for coming on. So,
So I guess it didn't. I guess they might have edited that part out where they actually aired the segment. But yeah, they really want to bring this out and have the whole world up under this system. But I'll let it play a little longer.
Here you have regulators in the United States failing in the most obvious possible way to rein in this cryptocurrency exchange. And then in the wake of that, they're not punished, but they've decided they're going to use it to get more power for themselves. Am I misreading what's happening here?
I think you're reading it correctly. As the expression goes, never let a good crisis go to waste. Now, I think these...
Exactly. That exactly. Because, this dude committed a crime, but yeah, you're going to give him a pass because, you see that idea, which, that, come on, man, we're not, like the scriptures say, lest they should get an advantage of us. We're not ignorant to his devices. You knew all along that what he was doing was just, part of the plan. And you want to, take that and, basically make improvements, which you already had it planned all along. Okay. So this is the reason why we're going to, it was a crisis, but hey, we ain't going to let it go to waste. So we got something, more new and improved and, way better. All right.
These CBDCs here in the U.S. are a really bad idea, Tucker, for a few reasons, but it's worth knowing the reason that economists supposedly support it, right? So the main argument is they say that actually China is doing it, and the U.S. will be less competitive, and that the dollar would be less strong if the U.S. fails to keep up. There are so many things wrong with that argument, but the first and most obvious is that that's a good path to get us to be more like China, which is not a good way for the U.S. to go in terms of being a surveillance state. And actually, it's exactly for that reason that if you think about it, the U.S. could actually have a stronger dollar if it does not jump onto the CBDC bandwagon, because people might want to actually hold a currency that doesn't allow them to be the subject of surveillance and control. So you could make the argument.
If you struggle to fully empty your bladder, it means that your prostate is so swollen that it's making it impossible for you to pee.
The argument equally in reverse about the supposed strong dollar that we're going to miss out on without the CBDCs. And this is, of course, against the backdrop that you know well, Tucker, which is the fetishization of the strong dollar as supposedly a good end-all, be-all anyway.
That's
right. It actually hurts American manufacturers, and there's a very good reason why China has artificially tried to depress its currency to have a weaker yuan. So on many levels, the argument fails.
This is not an investment show, but since you're very fluent in this language and knowledgeable, what will this do to gold prices? I mean, if they get close to this, a lot of people are just going to try to opt out of the system, correct?
I would think that it has a big effect, a positive effect on gold prices. Markets have been a little bit weird in the last year where gold certainly hasn't gone up as you might have actually otherwise predicted it to in normal times. But against that backdrop, though, when you ultimately all forms of paper become meaningless and actually go into digital currencies that could be means of governments effectuating control, that might be the last stand for actually gold finally having the last laugh at the end of the day. But more importantly, Tucker, is we should not see this great reset, this dissolution of boundaries between the public and private sector, between different nations, ultimately create this new world order. And CBDCs, mark my words, are just the symptom of that deeper cancer.
There it is. A one world currency. All right. So they got to create all these different crises to bring in and establish this system. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. And the Bible, the prophecy, dead on. Okay. So that's why we can go into, the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, the 14th chapter. All right. And it told you all along what would happen. All right. So when you read down, I'm gonna start at verse 14 and just read down. It says, "And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which ye had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. And that's his AI technology. All right. People are seeing life in this power structure, through his intelligence, through his technology. All right. That the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right. First, he's going to ostracize you first. And then the final thing is to, kill you. All right. You're going to have the men of the Lord, certain men that's going to be martyred because they refuse to worship the image and what it's getting ready to say next. All right. That's how they're going to get the victory. They love not their lives unto death, standing upon the testimony of Yahushai. All right. It says, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. All right. That charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads. And it's coming, man. Really, it's here. It's just a matter of time when they, corner everybody, set up dead ends for everyone that's still on the old system. All right, you're gonna be met with that decision. All right, they're gonna do away with cash worldwide, and everything is just gonna be digital. So you're gonna need this mark, this device, this implant. We always go into the definition, okay? And that no man might buy or sell, showing you that this is a financial system. All right, that he's setting in place. A lot of these other Israelite leaders, this is what they fail to understand. They always want to make the mark a spiritual thing, but what does buying and selling have to do with that? That's a physical action. That's a physical thing, buying and selling. So you need something spiritual in order to do make a physical transaction. No, it's going to be something physical that's going to be placed in your body that you won't be able to buy or sell unless you have it. That's plain as day. Save he that had the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, which is all interchangeable. Okay. Here's the wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 636. All right, which is a identifier and a vibration. Okay. And this is what he's going to use to control the masses. He has to mark his cattle so he can have complete control and oversight over the, the masses. And that's what they've been discussing at the World Economic Forum. This is when Klaus Schwab sits up there and talk about we need to restructure the world, the earth. It's centered around this prophecies, man. All right, that image and the mark. All right, to maintain complete dominance over the world. And you are basically stating that you agree with that dominance and control if you receive his charagma, his mark upon you. If you decide to put that into your body, you're now his property. All right. You identify as a servant of the beast, while the elect are going to have that spiritual mark, all right, which is that seal. All right, 144,000 are going to have that seal in their foreheads, which is a spiritual sign, token, with the names Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. But any of our people that volunteer for this, the Most High he no longer recognizes you. You're now just what pertains to the beast. So when this beast gets destroyed, you're going to be destroyed right along with it. Now just imagine, like, you got a lot of our people that are getting fired right now. They're getting laid off of their jobs. And a lot of our people, they're going to seek to the government for aid, for assistance, so that they don't fall completely into poverty and homelessness. So right now, this devil can easily, you know, create a solution for them, and this will be part of their temptation. Well, we'll help y'all out. We'll give y'all some programs that you can hop on, but it's going to be with this new under this new digital system, the CBDC. All right, you already had there's an article where they're saying that every U.S. city is testing free money programs, basically universal basic income guaranteed. All right, in these different programs. So this is the perfect time to get a lot of people involved because a lot of people are losing their jobs. Massive layoffs, man. So if they decide to roll it out right now and say, all right, everybody come up under this system, everybody got to get chipped or whatever. A lot of those people, out of desperation, they're gonna agree to it. All right, and that's where your faith comes in. If you know about this and you know what it is, you know you you're not gonna bow under pressure. You're gonna denounce this devil's traps and snares, man, and trust on Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai that He's gonna be the one to provide for you in that time. Hey, the hour of temptation, it says that everybody's gonna be tried, but we have to keep the word of the Lord's patience. That's He said it. Um, I will. He that because you have kept the word of my patience, I will keep thee from the hour of temptation. So the Lord's gonna be with us during that time. So anyway, Revelation 14:9, it says, "Doomed for worshippers of the beast." And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, "If any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his charagma in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture, into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receive the charagma, the mark of his name." Okay, so that's the judgment, and a lot of guys in Israel who's playing dumb and acting like this isn't happening right in front of their very eyes. The beast, basically implementing that system where he's getting ready to, usher it in and have people, come onto it, come up under it. They're playing dumb because either the Lord spiritually blinded them or they got paid off. So you're gonna have a lot of millions of Israelites that's gonna die in his second death, in his nuclear destruction, because they follow these charlatans, these false prophets that's going to lead them to destruction. Okay, they're going to be put to death, and the blood is on their hands. So that's I'll leave a link to this in the description box. All right, you can brothers want to go back and run it back and watch it. But this is what the government has been up to while everybody's been distracted. All right, so I'm gonna end off with that. I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Until the next lesson, Shalom.